And of course, Mr. Christmas legend Noddy Holder. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I require your suit.
After I finish with it.
It's beautiful.
I think that might be the best thing that's ever happened to me. Noddy Holder, that's my suit.
When you've done with it, I'm the man.
Listen, sustainable fashion, we can share. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
As long as you swap, I'd be happy with that. That I'd like to see.
Listen, Christmas shopping, wardrobe shopping at Noddy Holder's house, yes, please. Now, lots of people might not know, Noddy, that 5 years ago you were diagnosed with esophageal cancer.
I was.
It's something that we're going to talk with Dr. Zand about a little later on in the show. Obviously, difficult time of year for a lot of people dealing with cancer. We're going to talk about things to look out for, how they can cope later in the show, about 15 minutes. Before we get into that, though, we cannot move on any further without addressing the song that everybody knows the words to.
Which one?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do people... as soon as you came in, we started humming it, we started singing it, we started talking about it. Do you get that as well?
I do. I get people... Well, every day of the week, if I'm out and about shopping, somebody will shout, "It's Christmas" at me. In December, it's probably 30, 40, 50 times a day.
Yeah.
And they all think it's the first time anybody shouted it at me. But it's become my catchphrase, so I can't knock it now, can I?
And it's been happening for, what, 50 years?
50 years.
Anniversary, yeah.
A beautiful song, beautifully sung.
Yeah.
But testament to how relevant it still is that they've recut a new video. So it's the archive footage of you singing it originally on Top of the Pops, but they've put it together for a new version of video. That must be a joy to see.
Yeah. I mean, these are two clips from 1973, and they've mishmashed the two together, as record companies do these days. There's actually a little bit in the video as well, where I end up with a custard pie in my face. And that happened on the Christmas Day Top of the Pops in 73, because we beat Roy Wood's Wizard to the number one spot.
And Elton John.
And they were on the show also, and they custard pied me because we'd got the number one and not them. And it's in that new video.
Hey, Noddy, what do you like at crafting in general at Christmas?
I'm not very good. I'm hopeless at anything
Don't
crafty.
you worry. Give me 5 minutes with you, Noddy, and I'll have you Mr. Number One.
I'll tell you what I used to do. I used to mend, because we didn't have wardrobe ladies in our day on the road. But I used to mend my own stage clothes on the road on tour.
Well, that's quite crafty.
You've got the skills. So tell him what we're doing today.
Right, Noddy, I'm going to teach you. We're going to be doing Christmas candles.
OK.
So you can do something like this. Believe it or not, it's just a regular candle, 50p. We're just Christmassifying it a little bit more.
OK.
And we're going to be doing a bit of napkin folding because we're going to tablescape this whole table for Christmas. I texted all my friends and said, look, here's a selfie of me with Noddy Holder. They were like, oh, my word, are you singing with Noddy? I said, no, I'm crafting with him. It's even better.
I'm willing to learn.
I'm sitting between you and the person that did the wardrobe for Noddy Holder. Who is Noddy Holder? I'm going to get on this. I'm going to blow you away. You'll be impressed.
Listen, Noddy, you bring so much joy. Sarah, you've got a crafting masterclass. Zand, you are here with your wisdom. With your wisdom. We love you. You know that. Also here.
You're good with dates, Zand. Do you know when the last postal dates are?
The
second class?
18th.
Very good. Monday. And first class?
20th
Wednesday. Not bad. 1 out of 2 is not bad for Zand. You're here with Noddy. We were chatting to Noddy earlier about the cancer of the esophagus that you were diagnosed with back in 2018.
18.
What happened? How did you know? How did it come about for you?
Well, I went for my normal 6 monthly checkups, as you do have to at my age, and they checked my bloods, and they found I'd got a real iron deficiency. And my GP said, I'm a bit concerned with this. I said, send you to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, went for a scan, and they found the cancer in the esophagus. It's not throat cancer. A lot of people think it's throat cancer. It's not. It's nothing to do with throat cancer. And the diagnosis originally was they gave me 6 months to live.
Wow.
And so they sent me to the Christie Hospital in Manchester. And they had a new treatment there, which was a high-powered treatment, chemotherapy treatment. And they said, we'd never given this particular treatment. It's targeted treatment. It's the tumour. They said, we're never giving it anybody over 60. I was 72 at the time. And they said, are you willing to try it out and see if it works on somebody your age? And I'm the sort of guy who had a pretty positive outlook, and they said, that does work in my favour, that I had a positive outlook with it. And I said, well, what choice have I got? 6 months or try this treatment? And I tried the treatment, and touch wood, 5 years on, I'm still standing.
Great.
In the words of Elton John.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about the symptoms maybe in a second, because I know you had different kind of symptoms, Noddy. But Noddy's saying it's not throat cancer then.
So the esophagus is not a very famous part of the body, but it's your food tube. It goes from the back of your mouth right down to your stomach. You can see it here. So what's difficult about it is it's buried deep in your chest, between your lungs, behind your heart, goes through your diaphragm into your stomach. And so when you get symptoms, they're related to a blockage of the food tube very often. But Noddy's talking about anemia, so often a tumour can bleed, so you might be losing a bit of blood, but you wouldn't notice that. It's inside you. Difficulty swallowing is very common because the food tube gets blocked. But by that point, the cancer may have progressed quite fast. So feeling or being sick, having heartburn or acid reflux, because
that's a big one.
And that's a really big one. A cough that isn't getting better, or a hoarse voice, and a loss of appetite or losing weight unexpectedly. That's a kind of pretty good range of symptoms.
Interesting talking about swallowing there, because you said you were struggling to swallow just a piece of bread at one point.
Well, it was the thick, crusty bread I couldn't swallow.
Yeah.
But I took all these things on at my age, that it was old age creeping up. I was anemic, I was losing weight a little bit, but I was trying to lose weight. I'd laid off the chocolates and the booze and stuff like that because, you have to control your cholesterol and your blood sugars and all the rest. So I thought it was just an old age thing creeping up on me. But I was getting a lot of heartburn, particularly after strong curries and foods like that. And I also thought that was normal. So it wasn't until I was diagnosed I realised these were all symptoms of the esophagus cancer.
You mentioned the symptoms, but what about, are some people more at risk than others, Dr.
Yeah, they are. And so if you're thinking about your risk for this, it's not a common cancer, but it's not very rare. It's about the 14th most common in the UK. Age is a risk factor. We've got a graphic here showing them. So older age, being a man, puts you at slightly higher risk. Acid reflux is the big one. If you regularly get heartburn, that can irritate your esophagus and cause a problem called Barrett's esophagus. Being overweight, smoking and drinking are also heavily associated with that. So looking at that list of risk factors, I think lots of people will recognise either themselves or a family member. And as Noddy's brilliantly said, this is not a cancer that people are aware of. Often you only catch it once your food pipe is almost completely blocked. So if you've got those risk factors, that can be managed. If you have this thing called Barrett's esophagus, where your esophagus is sort of pre-cancerous, there's lots that can be done. So if you have that picture of maybe a bit of smoking, bit of booze, bit heartburn, you're an older man, go and have a chat with your GP and say, I'm worried about it.
So 5 years ago, you were given 6 months to live, but not only are you still standing, you're shining. How is the treatment going?
Sweet talker. Well, it's great because it's enabled me to do things and look at life a bit differently. I went back on stage this year with a band, not with Slade, but an 8-piece boogie jazz band. So I was singing a few tunes and telling a few naughty stories on stage with them. And I thought, I've had a new lease of life from it, that I've survived those 5 years. And I thought I'd give the audience a bit of pleasure again on stage, which I haven't done for a very long time. And I was in good voice, but I've had to learn to sing differently because although it wasn't throat cancer, it affects your breathing because it's down here in the tubes. And I had a very strong voice. And I've had to learn to breathe differently.
Interesting.
To get the notes and whatever. The sound of the voice is the same, but the breathing is different. Because I'm a rock and roll singer. I sing from there, not from the diaphragm like proper singers do.
Well, listen, Noddy, I've got no doubt there'll be a lot of people watching this who are sort of loving your positive attitude. And
So good to have you on the show.
I think that's a good thing to have.
Yeah,
I think it was a main thing in my favour. My consultants told me so.
Right.
And anybody who's going through cancer, it is terrible. It is absolutely terrible. But your mindset is an important way of getting through it if possible. Positive, positive, positive.
Well said.
Well, thanks for sharing that attitude.
Top of the show, Noddy Holder, the legend of Christmas, said he wanted to have a go at crafting. No, come on, Noddy, get in here. You can have a go at this.
Come
We're
on.
with crafting queen, Sarah Davis. You said you were going to show Noddy. Tell us what we're making. It's based on, like, something we've seen on Instagram, isn't it? Called
Tablescaping, basically making your Christmas table look all fancy, right? And I'm trying to do it on a budget. So these are really inexpensive. They're about 50p to pick up the little candles like this. But look how great it looks when we've added some extra colour. All you need is a bit of other wax. Helen, you'll have a load of wax at home.
Oh, half the
Kids'
crayon
crayons.
box. Yeah, there's
Right.
loads of half crayons. They're getting new, potentially, off Santa, maybe.
There you go.
Recycle the old ones.
Recycle the old.
Recycle, good.
So what I want is a few shavings, because
Noddy
we're going to make it
thinks
look
he's
like
drawing with that
confetti. Look, he's ready. Right, Noddy, you're just going to shave it a little bit with your...
Shave
Can
the
you see
crayon.
with the...
If I
shave
cut
it a
my
little
fingers, you're in trouble.
bit. Now, thankfully, we've just given you a little kitchen knife, so you'll be fine. So can you see a couple of little shavings on here? Now, I'm going with the gold.
Yeah.
You're doing a bit of green. Gets doing is a bit of red. Should we do like a multicoloured one?
So, presumably, if you're because I keep thinking manscaping, but that's what it's from, isn't it? Tablescaping.
Yes, tablescaping.
So you're tablescaping.
Right, bring one of them over here.
If you've got a colour
Carried
theme,
away there, Noddy.
Yes.
Wait
you
with
could do
you.
it to tie in with your theme, couldn't you?
Exactly that. So all you're going to do is you're going to, you know, if you're going turquoise or purple this year, that is a lovely confetti explosion there, getting.
Again,
Right?
Noddy.
What I've done is I've started
go.
getting the candle ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to melt the wax a little bit so that we've got warm wax that we're then going to melt the candle into. Now, at home, I would do it with a hairdryer, Helen. But just because it's a little bit noisy on the show, I'm using what's called a heat gun, which some of you, but those of you that are into crafting might have one of these, but a hairdryer does exactly the same. And then once you've got your candle a little bit warm, we're just going to roll it in the confetti. Can you see it?
Nice.
Noddy, are you going to be having a go at this when you get home?
Are you a crafter?
No, I'm not a crafter.
Not yet.
You are now.
You will be when I finish
Well,
with you, Noddy.
This
Look
is
at
what
this.
I'm looking forward to.
So now, if I want them to stick into there, watch what I'm going to do. Take a little bit of greaseproof paper, and then all I'm doing is I'm going to wrap this in the greaseproof paper. So I'm going to get it all together.
Shall I move that out of the way?
Glamorous as you can clear that away for me. If it ever doesn't work out as a TV presenter, you're absolutely brilliant as a backstage hand, right? So, and then once it's all wrapped up in that, I can heat it a bit more. And what this does is it maintains the shape.
OK.
So if you do have a go at this and you find that your little bits are always, you know, falling off, you don't want the shavings to come off. All you're doing is you're going to warm this up again and even roll it between your hands like this. So now I've got the wax all nice and melted so that when I take this out, we've got this perfect Christmas candle with all of the wax melted in. How fabulous
Oh,
is that?
wow.
Yeah?
That'll
round of
really
applause.
elevate your table.
It will indeed. But no table is complete without fancy napkins. How was your origami? Noddy?
Oh, pardon?
Come on, we're going to do a bit of napkin origami, right? So all you're going to do, we're going to take our napkin,
Yeah.
and I want you to fold the napkin in half, right? So you're going to fold all the pieces together, and then you're going to fold it in half again so that it's folded into four, right? Then lie it in front of you with all these open bits at the top. Right, so we nicely fold it into four with the open bits at the top. Then we're going to take this, fold it down to about maybe an inch off the bottom, right? Give it a crease. And I'm going to go down with the next one. So what we're doing is we're kind of like waterfalling all of these little bits. I mean, the sound effects that are coming out, you know, you're giving me a lot of promise here. That's it.
You know what you're doing Christmas morning now?
Yeah.
So we've got all that folded.
Yeah.
Then what I want you to do is take it and flip it over, right? So flip it straight over like this, so we've got like the point at the top still. Now, top tip here, put your finger right in the middle at the bottom. And you're going to fold this over the point like this. So the point's going to go roughly to halfway across here,
yeah.
but you're holding your finger in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And you're just going to fold the other piece over like this,
go.
so that we've folded it into a point. And what happens is when we flip this back over, it's starting to resemble a little bit. So that's how it's going to look at the moment, resembling a bit of a Christmas tree.
More like a bush, yours. Not
Mine's an off-centre bush.
Nice.
No, you didn't do the rehearsal, so that's not bad for a first attempt. And the last thing you do is just fold all of these bits under like this. And you can see that's how you get that Christmas tree shape.
Nice.
The last little bit just folds over. There's your Christmas tree shape. And to finish it off perfectly, I'm going to give you a little cinnamon stick each. Your cinnamon stick's just a glamorous assistant. There we go.
Oh,
hey,
mine's rubbish.
Geth, I have to say, I know we've been working on the crafting now for 2 or 3 years. I think this is the best piece you've ever done. I think this is your best one you've ever done.
It's tricky. Come on, let's take them over to the table.
Bring them with. Don't lose their grip. Bring them with.
Are we going to have points deducted
Noddy,
for off-centre?
Don't worry, Noddy, I'm going to get you a copy of my crafting book and the step-by-step instructions. You can keep practising.
We've got, I'm going to put it on the plate there. You get over there, Noddy. Oh, well done.
What
Coletta.
a Christmas dinner we would have.
The perfect finish.
Oh, I see. I've got little...
Right, have a great Christmas. We'll see you in the new year. Bye for now.
Thank you so much. Oh, what a lovely, what a gang we have. I mean, that is, what a setting. The candles...
And these are free. You can just find one and do it. It's brilliant.
Use any napkins that you've got at home.
Any colour, bit of fun.
You can even use the paper ones.
Okay,
so don't think it has to be the expensive fancy one, just your paper ones, fold lovely.
Brilliant. Thank you. And thank you for getting involved, Noddy. Now, if you are...
Look at this lineup.
Got a whole
Ready
team
to
today.
go. What
The moves for today.
Lovely. Let's do it. Take it away, Alan.
With a midweek mid-body workout, it's Maria Tiziani.
Ready? And we're gonna go 1, 2, amazing song! Beautiful, and let's go into our stretch. And nice stretch to one side, beautiful, and to the other side. Good, feel the stretch, lean into it. Good, beautiful. Last one, ready, and side.
I mean, this is like
Good.
Noddy Holder dancing to this.
Quite surreal.
This is the first. Today.
Last one, and arms up. And knees up, good, up, and up. 2 more. 1, good,
Is it
and
about-
2, and we stretch.
Noddy,
Stretch.
before we say goodbye, any messages?
Merry Christmas, everybody!
See you tomorrow, 9:15. Bye for now.